Crime, Wine, and Chaos contains adult language and graphic content. Listener discretion is advised.
When in Vice, say it twice, Chaos Kids. I'm Naomi.
I'm Amber. And this is Crime, Wine, and Chaos.
Yeah, you are in Vice. Yeah, you are. Goddamn sinner.
Oh, man. Always. Always.
I saw somebody said the other day, no sinners, only no saints, only sinners here.
That's true.
I'm like, yes.
That's so true. That's true of all of us. What's happening?
Oh, well, sister, you know, it's very warm out. Mm-hmm. And I was just out and about in, topless.
The Jeep.
Because it's
right.
Mm-hmm. It's right.
Right. Yep.
Topless summer 2025. Mm-hmm. And I just had lunch. I just had lunch with a couple of our aunties and one of their husbands.
How'd that go?
It was good. We had sushi. It was delicious and amazing, and we had a good time. They gave me little gifts. My birthday is tomorrow.
Right.
And tomorrow, while we are recording,
yeah.
It'll be weeks will have gone by the time the Chaos Kids hear this, and my birthday will have come and gone. Mm-hmm. But yes, so this was my birthday lunch, and I hadn't seen any of them. I hadn't seen any of the three of them in quite some time, actually. So it was nice to see them. And
good.
I got some homemade jams.
Good.
Which is always nice.
Yeah. Plum.
Yeah. Apricot.
Okay.
And raspberry.
Ooh, raspberry's a good one.
I know. I'm all about the raspberry.
Samesies.
I really am all about that raspberry. But you know what? Auntie Lola made me a card, and it was this, I think it's like oil chalk or whatever. And it's this beautiful like sun setting on the ocean and like an orca whale breaching. Mm-hmm. And it's super cute. It's really lovely.
It's very
it made
Pacific
me really
Northwest.
Happy. Very. And I was like, Auntie, you know that orcas are part of the proletariat, right? And she was like, yes, they are.
That's amazing.
They take down yachts.
That's right.
So orcas.
Yeah. Team orca. Yeah.
Solidarity with the orcas. What about you? What's going on, sis?
Oh, thank you for asking. I have a gig this weekend, so gearing up for that. Yeah, we're playing the Tacoma Porch Fest, which,
what is that?
Oh my gosh, this giant neighborhood, several different cities do it, but this giant neighborhood closes off the streets and there's like food trucks and stuff. And then there's host homes that can volunteer and bands play on their porch. And then you can walk around.
Love this.
And so we got assigned our house. I Google mapped it. It's a cute little craftsman style.
This is so fun.
So,
have you seen this band that's big, famous? They're kind of a semi-famous band who've been touring for the last few months in backyards.
No, but that sounds amazing.
I can't remember. My friend Leah was telling me about them. I've seen a couple of the videos on TikTok. So they decided, you know what? Double middle finger to these giant fucking venues and all that entails.
Right.
So they've been doing these like essentially pop-up concerts in people's backyards, like all over the States.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah, it is cool. That's what we're doing. Only we're going to be in the front yard on the porch.
I love it so much, sister. How fun.
I did.
I feel like you have a listener update for us.
From our new review?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we got a really nice review from a listener / fellow podcaster. I'll get to the review in a second, but her podcast is called The Wounds That Do Not Heal. It is really good. I'm on part 2 of exposing Jordan Henning, that episode.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really upsetting. But she focuses on domestic violence in the military families and really kind of shedding light on that.
Wow.
And it's heavy, but she is quite good. I'm sorry, I think I said Tessa and it's Tressa.
Tressa.
And let me pull up our Apple review so I can tell you what lovely things she said. I'm toggling.
She said the nicest thing.
I know.
She said it was so sweet.
I know. Well, it's Tressa Brady. That's her name. Says, I just want to hang out with you guys. That's her title. It says, I've been listening to these sisters for a while now, and they have really mastered being relatable and entertaining while maintaining respect and integrity for the victims that they talk about. I find myself laughing a lot and then also feeling the impact of the victim stories they share. I'm a fellow podcaster, and I know how challenging it is to walk that fine line of not turning some family's most devastating day into more entertainment, but honoring them and sharing their story. These two are doing it well. Keep it up.
Oh my God, it's so
It's
nice.
so nice, Tressa. And I'm going to be slapping a review on her feed as well. Cause
Don't touch your
I
mic.
did it. My phone did. Cause she's crushing it also over there.
Yeah, she deserves
Yeah.
it. So yeah, guys, go check her out.
Check
Absolutely.
her
Let's
out.
send her the Chaos Kids love.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right.
What are you drinking?
Thank you for asking. I have a raspberry hard seltzer today.
Which is your favorite?
That's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We covered
It's
that
your favorite
when you were-
jam. It's my favorite seltzer.
It's my exactly. Although I do love a blackberry jam, a raspberry or a blackberry. There's something about raspberry freezer jam.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it just raspberry though? Like raspberry freezer jam is like
Chef's kiss. I don't know. but it's-
perfection. But anyway,
raspberry.
yes, raspberry. Because you were drinking a lime one not that long
Yeah.
ago, and you
I
didn't love it.
didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I mean,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
whatever.
Sister,
Yes.
do you have a crime for me?
I do. It's upsetting.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to tell you
Okay.
about Rhonda Chantay Blankenship.
Okay.
She went by Chantay.
Okay.
She was 25 years old and lived with her grandpa in Lake Brentwood in Central Texas.
Right.
She was super happy. She went to the local church and was really close to the pastor and his wife. Her sister Destiny says that it was obvious that she was happy. Like she was just a bubbly gal.
She was having a good
She
time.
was having a great time.
You know what? If you've got a good grandpa and he's letting you live with him,
Mhm.
life is good.
I know. I think it's so sweet that she lives with grandpa.
Yes.
Mhm. She loved her church and her neighborhood, and she went on daily walks. And the neighbors saw her every day taking her walk by the lake, just bebopping around the neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She had, I think this comes later in my story, she had some developmental delays. And one source
Okay.
said that she didn't really read or write very well, but I only saw that
Mhm.
in one source. So I'm not sure, like, she was very childlike, even though she was 25 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the neighbors would see her every day. And that Friday, May 13th, was no different. She went out for her evening walk, and Grandpa calls Chantay's mom, Michelle, and says, "Hey, Chantay didn't come home from her walk yet. Do you know where she's at?" Right?
Right.
She did not take her cell phone with her on her walk, but she did take her cell phone with her on her walk, but not her purse. Her purse was at home.
Mm-hmm.
Her grandpa kept calling her nonstop, but she didn't answer, and she never came home.
Oh no.
I know.
What year was this?
Oh, okay, I have a typo in my story. It says May 13th, 201, and then it stops. I think it's
somewhere between 2010 and 2019.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll make sure to get it right in the show notes.
Okay, great.
Or it just happened in the year 201.
That was a long time ago.
I know. So she doesn't come home, and Grandpa's getting scared. So the next morning, the family reports her missing, and a search was organized. And she was so loved by everyone that the turnout for the search was like huge.
Like the whole town.
Mhm. It was a really small community. And so everyone figured that she just had to be somewhere close by. Like, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
she fell and sprained her ankle. Maybe, like, who knows, right?
Right.
People are like looking under boats, under piles of leaves. Just who knows?
Right.
It would be Sunday, 48 hours after she went missing, that searchers found her.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. She was 5 miles down the road from her house at an old abandoned farmhouse. The kids in the neighborhood referred to it as the haunted house. It was like a popular place for teenagers to like drink and hang out, right?
Right. Like an abandoned lot with a ratty old falling apart house.
Yeah. Why does every neighborhood have one of those?
I don't know.
I
Our neighborhood didn't have one of those.
No, I guess not.
Not an abandoned house.
Not an abandoned house, but Grandma and Papa's neighborhood did, remember?
Vaguely.
We would be on the John Deere kid tractor, and it was like 5 houses down.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and then we'd book it back up the sidewalk because it was like, whoa. Yeah. Okay, so the searchers call 911 and police meet them at the home. They said they were looking around the property when they noticed that the grass was smushed down right outside of an outbuilding that was like a cellar.
Mm-hmm.
When they opened the cellar door, they found Chantay laying face down on the stairs, pointing downward. And the searcher said it looked like she had been beaten pretty bad.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. So the Brown County Sheriff's officer said that the scene was brutal. She had cuts and bruises all over her face and head. And right away, it's obvious that this was a murder. And so they call the Texas Rangers in for help.
Yeah. That's what you do when you're a small town in Texas.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Chantay's mom, Michelle, was notified that her body was found by one of the searchers. And her mom said that Chantay was someone who, as soon as you met her, you just fell in love with her. She's so cute, too. She's so cute.
Oh.
I know. Stephen McDaniel was Chantay's stepdad, and he had been since she was 6 years old. He said that she always made him laugh. She loved music, had a great smile, and you never had to question if she was happy or not.
Right.
She also loved wearing pink and things that glittered.
Yeah.
And she was super tiny. She was like 90 pounds.
Oh my God.
I know. With a huge personality. And she always made sure to tell people how to pronounce her name properly.
Relatable.
This is also relatable for you. I know. Her grandpa Charlie, who she lived with, said that he was happy to give her whatever she wanted. He had helped raise her since birth. Because Michelle, Chantay's mom, was 16 when she had her. She wasn't quite ready.
Yeah.
And like I said, she had some developmental disabilities and needed like extra care growing up, which is why she was with Grandpa. She learned to walk and talk much later than most kids. And even at 25, she still sort of talked like a child.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom says it was like she aged to a certain point and then stopped.
Right.
But she was not bothered by it at all. She had a boyfriend, John, who adored her, and everyone in the neighborhood loved her and like kept a watchful eye out for her.
Oh, she had a whole village.
I know. And her evening walks would go for like hours.
What?
Yeah, like several hours every day. She would just walk.
Oh my God. I wish I had that kind of energy.
I mean, she's also 25. We used to have
Sure.
that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm on the prowl for a house without stairs. I'm not kidding.
You have a lot of stairs now.
This is bullshit. Yep. So the investigators start to canvass the neighborhood and retrace her final steps. They hope that someone had seen her with somebody. So she had gone out for her walk around 6 p.m. and met up with her friend Caitlin. Her and Caitlin walked for a couple of hours, and Caitlin says that Chantay's grandpa called her and told her it's starting to get dark, and she was like, okay, Papa, I'll be home soon.
Mm-hmm.
So they confirmed that this call came in from Grandpa Charlie at 8:48.
Okay.
Caitlin said that's when the two parted ways. She said that Chantay was giggling and running down the road when they went their separate ways. It's so cute. The spot where her and Caitlin parted ways was a quarter mile from her home. So somewhere in there is where she went missing. The house where she was found was set back from the road and pretty isolated. It looked like it hadn't been lived in for many years, and there were no floors. It was just the joist going across.
Right.
Yeah. And there were like snakes and rodents in there. Ew. So they cover every inch of that property. They do find tire tracks right at the gated entrance. They find Chantay's bracelets scattered across the lawn. And they also find strands of brown hair in the grass, and investigators believe that someone dragged her to the spot where she was found
Oh,
because of how the grass was sort of smushed down and the hair.
right.
They also found a rusty lawnmower blade covered in blood.
Ew.
Mhm. Yeah. There was blood spatter on the brick that was on the ground. She had deep cuts on her face and scalp and a shoe print on her chest.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
I know. The autopsy showed that the cuts on her scalp and face were consistent with the lawnmower blade, and she had,
Oh my God.
I know, a fucking lawnmower blade.
What the fuck?
Uh-huh. And she had also been sexually assaulted.
Of course.
Mhm. They are able to collect DNA and they send that out for testing.
Mm-hmm.
A fucking lawnmower blade. Mm-mm.
A rusty lawnmower blade.
That is so. Mm-mm. No.
It's like a horror movie.
Yes. Yeah. So at her funeral, I shouldn't drink and podcast. What did you say last
Literally.
time? What was it?
What did I say?
You really malfunctioned and you were laughing.
I don't remember. There's
But
no way
you
to
know what? It's memorable because it only happened once to you. I do it every episode.
It didn't happen only once to me. It's definitely happened more than once.
I do it every episode. This is what I do.
And now you've done it.
Okay.
So you're fine now.
So at her funeral, everyone wore pink and the entire community was there.
Oh.
I know. Police set up surveillance so they can capture everyone who is coming to the service thinking it was possible that the killer would be there.
Mm-hmm.
They also set up cameras at the cemetery by her grave, and they didn't notice anything suspicious at her service, but they were convinced that since it was such a small community, her killer had to be someone that she knew. Also,
Yeah.
because she wouldn't just get into someone's car. She wouldn't just go
Right.
with someone.
Like some rando.
Mm-mm. Everyone in the neighborhood who knew her said that she would never do that. They told investigators, like, yes, she had sort of a child's mind, but she knew not to do that.
She knew stranger danger.
She knew-
5-year-olds know
She knew
that.
stranger danger. She knew to be home by dark. She knew where
Yeah.
the safe walking routes were. Like, yeah.
Right.
They were like, there's no chance. Like, this had to be somebody that she knew. So they start
Yeah.
by talking to Chantay's live-in boyfriend, John Adams. Which
He lived with her at Grandpa's?
Yeah.
Okay.
John was 26, and he and Chantay had known each other since middle school, and they'd been dating for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So they question him at home. They look in his pickup truck and check the shed to like look at the lawnmowers, see if there's any.
Are you missing a blade in here? Yeah.
Exactly. John said that the evening Chantay went missing, he picked her up at 5 p.m. from a restaurant where she was having dinner with a friend. They both went back to Grandpa's house, and John took a quick shower and left for work. His shift started at 9, but he liked to be there early. He worked the overnight shift and was home around 5 a.m. And of course, when he got home, Chantay wasn't there, but he assumed that she had like stayed the night at a friend's house. After interviewing John 4 different times, they still don't have any reason to arrest him. So they start moving on and talking to other people in the neighborhood.
In the meantime, they're waiting for the DNA to come back.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is so good.
Well, I'm glad you
Thank
like
you,
it,
sister. So there's this other guy in the neighborhood named Bobby Sosa. He was somebody who liked to throw parties. He drove around the neighborhood a lot in his red and white Bronco.
Old school?
I mean, I don't know.
It's got to be because they didn't bring the Bronco back until semi-recently. So, okay.
I mean, this is a very cliche Texas boy.
I'm getting the vibe.
They tracked down Bobby, and he said that he did drive by Chantay that night. He let investigators search his house and his Bronco, and he told them that the night that Chantay disappeared, he had gone to a friend's house and was there with several other people until late into the evening.
This was a Friday night, right?
And police are able to verify his alibi. They were also able to pull surveillance from the restaurant where John worked, and his alibi checks out as well. John had given them another name of someone in the neighborhood, Colin Smith. Colin was in his 20s and he did lawn mowing and other odd jobs around the neighborhood.
Lawn mowing.
Mhm.
Okay.
He lived just around the corner from them. And John said that Colin was a troublemaker. There was one incident where Colin took Chantay out for a late night joyride.
A what now?
A late night joyride.
Okay.
When they speak to Colin, he says that he did see her that night, but only from a distance, because he saw her walking around the neighborhood. He said she walked by his house around 6:30. He also said that she was just a friend, but that she was interested in more.
Oh, really? Was she calling?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh-huh.
He said that he had to change his number because she called so much.
Oh, right. I'm sure that's true. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
They asked him if he ever had any kind of physical relationship with her, and he said no, never. But later on in the interview, he said that he did have a physical relationship with her.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. He said that the last time was a few weeks ago, and as soon as he learned that her and John were like serious, he backed off.
John and her are living together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they hook him up to magical cans, and he said that the night she went missing, he was at his brother's house watching the basketball game, and he fell asleep on their couch. And the magical cans say that he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
So now they want to talk to Colin's brother to confirm this alibi. And they wanted to do it with Colin's, like, they wanted to keep an eye on Colin in the interrogation room so that he wouldn't have a chance to call his brother and say, here's the story, right?
Right.
So they call his brother, and he confirms the alibi, along with Colin's niece and nephew, who were also there. So, like, the magical cans don't work. I know that's weird. I know that's weird.
What? The magical cans didn't tell them the truth?
Mm-mm. Maybe they should try a truth serum.
I think what they need is a Ouija board.
There it is.
They need to ask the
feel
spirits.
like I would rely more on a Ouija board than the magical cans.
Right?
I think I really would.
Quick, light a candle.
Yep. So they take Colin's DNA, and that comes back as not a match to the DNA that they collected from the crime scene.
Oh, now they have the actual DNA profile ready to start, comparing to.
Yep.
Okay.
They also...
All right, Colin, you're just a creep. Got it.
I'm
not a murderer, just a creep.
Just a creep who mows lawns. It's also not a match for John, the boyfriend, or Bobby. They ended up collecting DNA samples from over 24 men, including Grandpa Charlie.
Oh, for God's sakes. Well, I mean, they got to rule him out.
He's like 80 something. What are we doing?
It's like when they make the old lady in the wheelchair get the random search at the airport. You know what I mean?
I mean, I know. Did you see that SeaTac is no longer requiring anybody to take their shoes off?
Finally?
Yeah.
That's literally the only reason I stopped, or the only reason I got the known traveler number was because I was sick and tired of taking my shoes off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and because you don't have to go through the whole body X-ray machine.
Yeah.
In that one either.
Yeah.
But fucking finally.
I know. God. Okay. So it's not Grandpa Charlie. So everyone.
Thank God.
Everyone.
I was really worried.
I forgot about. Remind me before you start your chaos. Okay. Okay. So everyone in the community is freaked out. Kids who would normally walk around are only going out in pairs.
Right.
1 year after Chantay's death, Michelle has a memorial, and friends and family come together and they walk Chantay's walking route.
Oh.
With no new leads, investigators decide to do phenotesting DNA at Parabon.
Oh, here we go. Parabon. We don't have to wait decades, you guys. We can just do it right now.
This science is so cool. Mm-hmm. It's the testing that will generate an AI photo of what the person might look like.
Oh, we're not doing the genealogy testing
No,
yet.
we're doing the show me what this person looks like testing.
Okay. Which you can't do in Germany.
Like they don't have the science or they won't allow it?
They don't allow it, remember?
Why? I don't remember.
Do you remember when I covered the Phantom of
Oh my God, the
Heilbronn?
lady who got her DNA all over everything?
Yes. Remember how they couldn't do any kind of, they couldn't extract any data from the DNA that they had that would tell them anything about what this woman looked like because German law forbids that. They have like really strict laws around what you can do with DNA.
Interesting.
We talked about it in that episode, but it's because it all goes back to the Nazis.
It always does.
Right.
Fuck. Okay.
Anyways, so we're going to get a picture.
We're going to get a picture.
Quote unquote.
Okay.
Supposedly.
So they do this and they think it looks like any white kid in the area, but they still post the photo on the socials. And that is when Michelle's son, Cutter, who is Chantay's brother, called his mom and said, that picture looks like someone I know.
Uh-oh.
That guy looks like Ryan Riggs. So
Ryan Riggs.
Michelle looks up Ryan Riggs on the socials and she's like, she said her heart hit the floor. Like the resemblance is like, holy shit, that's him.
But she didn't know who Ryan Riggs was.
Nope.
Okay.
So Ryan Riggs was a local kid and a member of Chantay's church.
Oh.
Her brother Cutter knew Ryan from high school and said that Ryan used to bully him. He said one time Ryan poured a glass of iced tea over his head.
Oh, what a
This
dick.
guy fucking sucks.
Seriously.
So Michelle brings this information to investigators and they agree that Ryan Riggs is the spitting image of their AI photo. So Ryan is 21 years old and he spent a lot of his time playing online games. He also picked up work in the neighborhood doing lawn care and even participated in the search for Chantay.
Of course he did.
He attended her funeral, but left before it was over. He went to her house for the wake and had gone back to her house multiple times after that to visit John and check in on him and see how he was holding up.
This guy.
Yep. So it's now been 18 months since her murder. Investigators head over to his house and he isn't home, but his parents let them in and they tell them that he hasn't been home for several days. Presumably since the photo was released.
The photo went live. Yeah. That tracks. Yeah.
So they're like, we need to start preparing for a manhunt. That's what we're going to do. But that ended up not being necessary because on that following Wednesday night, Ryan showed up at church.
Oh, well, he's not going to miss youth group.
God, fucking youth group.
He plays the guitar for the...
Well, let me oh my God.
Sorry.
Stop it.
Can't.
Do you want to hear my Wonderwall? Let me tell you what Ryan did at church.
Oh, no.
He goes up to the pulpit in front of the entire congregation and said that he was a murderer.
What? You also rapist. You forgot to say rapist.
Oh, well, we'll get to that because you know how confessing to that is that's where
that's way worse than confessing to murder.
I have morals. I didn't do
that.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yep. So the pastor calls the sheriff's office and lets them know that he was bringing Ryan Riggs in and that he had just confessed to killing her in front of the whole congregation.
Can you imagine the scuttlebutt that week after that church service? Like, can you imagine?
No, everyone looking at each other like. And if you were someone that missed that week, you'd be like,
right? You did.
Fuck! I knew I should have gone.
I cannot even imagine.
Oh my God! Something like that will get me into church. We're doing
Is
confessional.
this what happens at church?
I'm going. Wednesday? What time? Oh my God. Mm-hmm.
So pastor brings
Brings him
this
into the
kid
station.
to the station.
And once he's inside the interrogation room, he starts talking. He said that he saw her on her walk that day and stopped and asked her if she wanted a ride. And she knew him. So she got in his truck.
Oh, no.
He said they drove around the neighborhood and then pulled over to a secluded spot. He said they were just sitting in his truck listening to music when something snapped inside of him. Stop it.
Okay.
He blacked out, Naomi.
I cannot with this something snapped.
Yeah. He said out of nowhere, he put his arm around her and started to strangle her. As soon as she passed out, he took her clothes off and raped her. He said afterwards he knew he couldn't let her live because she would tell on him. So he drove to that abandoned house, got out of the truck, grabbed her out of the truck, threw her over the fence, then went back to his truck and got the lawnmower blade. He said he beat her to death in the head with the mower blade and then stomped on her chest.
Oh my God.
And while he is confessing to all this, he just has a total like flat affect. Just like very matter of fact. No feelings. When they asked him how long he had had these kinds of thoughts, he said he's always had these kinds of thoughts. He said he once tried to drown his pet chihuahua in a bucket when he was little. And when they asked him if he could say anything to Chantay right now, what would it be? And he said that I'm sorry I did what I did, and whatever I have coming, I deserve. Yeah.
It must be real hard for a sociopath to also be, in relationship with the Lord.
No shit.
And real confusing inputs.
I think I just said Chantay too. It's Chantay. Sorry about that.
Right. That's okay.
So he was charged with capital murder. And in Texas, that means the death penalty was on the table. But Chantay's family didn't want the death penalty. So the DA offered him a plea of a life sentence without the possibility of parole. He accepted the plea and was sentenced in February 2019. Michelle says she wants everyone to remember Chantay singing in the choir and walking down the street, waving at everybody in her pink clothes.
Oh my God. In pink clothes.
Pink glitter.
Oh.
And that is Chantay Blankenship. I love that she went running off giggling when she was walking with her friend.
That's the best part of the whole story.
I know.
Oh my God. What a sweetheart.
I know.
Oh, sister, that was fucked.
I know it was. I'm sorry.
That was wild.
I know. Just so senseless. So fucking senseless.
So random.
I know. Yeah.
And yet another naive young person taken advantage of for their naivety.
Yeah. I know. That's the worst.
Those ones really bother me a lot.
Me too. You've done a couple of those, and I don't know why you do that to me. Oh.
Will you turnabout surfing? Oh, yes. You were going to tell me something?
Oh, well, just true crime updates that we didn't talk about. Brian Kohlberger took a plea.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I missed that.
He took a plea. And I think one of the victims' families is pissed because there's not going to be any details or whatever. But yeah, he pled 3 days ago.
Guilty to all four?
Guilty to all four. Mm-hmm.
Life, sir. I'm assuming life term.
Mm-hmm. And no appeals.
Wow.
I know.
That's wild.
I know.
This will be late breaking news.
Yeah, correct.
Once this airs.
I know.
But now I know, so I appreciate
Sure
that.
thing.
Thank you. Sister, are you ready to hear a chaos story you already know?
I only loosely listen. Okay. I was a baby
You guys-
podcaster when I did it the first time, and I'm sure you did a much better job.
So, you guys, I made this huge stink about making this spreadsheet where I keep track of every story that's ever been done by the podcast, even prior to my coming, mostly because of the ones that were done prior to me coming on as the co-host. So that there wouldn't be I wouldn't go duplicating a story that had already been done.
Mm-hmm.
But all of those stories are behind the paywall now, and nobody's listening to those, really.
Yeah.
And I still managed to do a chaos story that Amber has already covered.
We're saying covered in quotes. Because you read a whole ass book.
I read a whole ass book.
And
Sorry,
I'm sure
things were weird
this
here.
is going to be way more information than I ever knew. And it was so long ago that I don't even remember the details anyway.
Okay. Well, I mean, I appreciate you being real cool about it. I really
I'm
do.
super chill.
Drink your raspberry
Thank you.
seltzers. Okay. So I am going to tell you about Belle Gibson.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is a lot because I read a whole book and there's a lot in here. And there's definitely going to be some updates that you didn't. There's going to be stuff I'm sure you didn't know, and there's going to be updates that you didn't know.
Good.
I'm positive of that
Okay.
part. So in early 2012, Instagram was little more than a year old and still a profitless startup. It was growing fast, but it was still not the time of becoming Insta famous yet.
Mhm.
This was still before you could get paid tens of thousands of dollars to share a photo or sign lucrative brand deals.
Right.
And this is when Belle Gibson created her Instagram account, Healing Belle. Her bio read, quote, Belle Gibson, game changer with brain cancer and a food obsession. She would post stylized photos of what she was eating and doing during the day. Her feed evolved into posts about the benefits of different superfoods, living naturally, and getting back to basics. She also copy and pasted inspirational quotes from the internet. There were recipes for organic meals and healthy juices, photos of aesthetic plates of food, lemon tea served in gorgeous china, fruit spreads, a chart with pictures of foods that will hydrate you. You get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, she would post pictures of her toddler, Ollie, or selfies. And she gave advice for treating various medical conditions. She shared openly and honestly with her followers about her cancer and other health scares she'd experienced. She was inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
The picture of youth and vitality living with a terminal disease. She was happiness, hope, spirit, and glamour.
Nice.
Belle's Instagram account grew very quickly, and within a year, she had amassed about 200,000 followers,
Shit.
which on a brand new platform is
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah.
She shared her story about how she had been diagnosed with a cancerous brain tumor in 2009. According to Belle, she was 20 years old and working a corporate job when she started experiencing memory loss, problems with her vision, and walking difficulties. She said her concerns were brushed aside by her doctor and she was prescribed antidepressants. Then, not long after, she suffered a stroke at work and tests revealed she had terminal brain cancer.
Shit.
She was given 4 months to live at most.
Mm.
She said she endured chemo and radiotherapy for 2 months, but decided to stop the grueling treatment after passing out in a city park near the hospital. She went home and reevaluated everything.
Mm-hmm.
She started to explore alternative medicines and discovered the detoxification properties of lemons. All of this inspired her to rethink her diet, sending her around Australia searching for a cure to her disease. She was determined to heal herself with nutrition, holistic medicine, and alternative therapies like Ayurvedic treatments, craniosacral therapy, oxygen therapy, colonics, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
Her followers were mostly young women, very health conscious, who soaked up Belle's advice.
Mm-hmm.
They adored her and filled her comment sections of her Insta posts with praise, expressing a deep connection with her. She was a warrior, an angel. I feel like oh, there we go. I'm like, my part of my page just disappeared. The most inspirational person they had ever encountered.
Mm-hmm.
Later, Belle would say, quote, "I think too many people on social media overly edit themselves. Right from the start, I was very open and treated Instagram as my personal space. I really think it was that authenticity that people were attracted to."
Okay.
With so much success on this photo sharing app and a built-in audience, Belle came up with an idea for an app. She would call it the Whole Pantry. Later, she would write of her idea, quote, "I realized I had tapped into this whole world of unsupported, unmotivated, uninspired people, and for everyone to feel like that just wasn't okay for me. I wanted to share what I had learned on my journey with as many people as possible, so I decided to create the world's first health and wellness lifestyle app. I couldn't get the vision out of my head. As soon as I had the idea, I was passionately dedicated to making it happen as quickly as possible. I made sure I surrounded myself with the best team, and I funded it by drawing on old medical loans and credit cards, borrowing from friends, and asking people working with me in the early days to hold off on initial invoices. I expected it to take about 18 months, but it was ready to launch after only 7 months by August 2013. If something is important enough to you, you find a way to make it happen."
Mm-hmm.
The Whole Pantry app was an instant success. It contained 50 gluten-free, paleo, and vegan recipes, as well as health and wellness lifestyle guides, recipe conversion tools, and a shopping list function. Belle wanted people to know that the app was not just about food, but also about combating stress, achieving wellness, and a healthy, wholesome lifestyle.
Okay. That sounds pretty useful.
Sounds great.
Mhm.
And it was really successful. Less than 2 weeks after the app went live, an executive from Apple reached out. He wanted to fly to Melbourne to meet her.
Wow.
He told her that Apple had never seen an app launch in Australia the ways hers had, and this would be the beginning of a very exciting partnership.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, Apple calls you up.
No kidding. I'm still waiting for Apple to call us up.
Somebody call us.
We're on there. Where's my phone call? Mm-hmm.
The first month the app was available in the Apple App Store, it earned the #1 rating. By the end of 2013, it was named Apple's best food and drink app, best new Aussie app, and the second best iPhone app in the world.
Shit.
It was included in Apple's Great Aussie Apps and Games promotion, included as part of an Editor's Choice recommendation, and publicized around the world as a healthy living app. It was translated into French, Spanish, Japanese, simplified Chinese, and made available in the US and the UK.
Damn.
The app was pre-installed on display iPads in featured Apple stores.
Oh, that's huge.
That's huge.
That's like a this just comes with the Apple product app.
Yes.
That's huge. Okay.
Look at this pretty app on this pretty iPad that you want to buy,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Whole Pantry app was downloaded hundreds of thousands of times around the world. In less than 2 years, the Whole Pantry brand would earn Belle Gibson $500,000. With the unprecedented and meteoric success of the app, this was also the perfect time for Belle to reach out to publishers about a book.
Of course.
Mid-September 2013, Belle sent an email to Penguin. She told them about the success of her app and her ever-growing social media presence. She wrote that a few other publishers had already approached her, but Penguin was who she wanted to work with. She reiterated in her email to them that she had terminal brain cancer, but had surpassed the expectations of her specialists and diagnosis because of her holistic and nutritional approach to well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Only a few weeks later, Belle was at the Penguin offices sitting down with Julie Gibbs, who had worked at Penguin for over 2 decades and was regarded as the queen of lifestyle publishing in Australia.
Oh.
She was thrilled to work with Belle on her first book. Julie anticipated the book would go global, and most importantly, the book would have a substantial introduction telling Belle's incredible story of her journey to health from eating and living the way she did.
Mm-hmm.
The deal was signed. Belle would deliver between 80 and 90 recipes with the help of a home economist that Penguin would fund for $15,000. I don't know what that
the
means.
hell?
Don't ask
Okay,
questions.
okay.
I don't know. Don't ask.
Questions. Someone that majored in home ec?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Penguin would also front $12,500 to pay for the photography, which was about half what it would cost. The recipe book would be 250 pages and emphasize cutting out high allergen foods, gluten, and sugar from the diet, and contain a bunch of information about health and lifestyle tips and suggestions. Belle, as a first-time author, received a very generous advance totaling $132,500.
Ooh, that is a generous advance.
Yeah.
Shit.
Then it was off to Japan to meet with Apple executives in Tokyo to discuss a local content and marketing strategy, followed by a tour of Apple's headquarters in Cupertino. And 3 months later, back to the U.S. for an announcement that the whole pantry would be one of the few apps handpicked by Apple to be featured as a centerpiece on its newest product, the Apple Watch.
Oh, shit.
She was the only Australian invited to develop an app for this brand new device, and her logo was all over the promos for the smartwatch front and center, twice the size of the Pinterest and Nike logos.
Oh my God.
Apple went to great efforts to leverage their marketing team to promote the whole pantry, featuring it on the App Store's Facebook and Twitter pages and sending pitches out to the media for wellness-related stories that featured Belle and her app.
Mm-hmm.
In early December 2013, Belle had an official launch party for the whole pantry app. She also wanted to use the party as a way to raise money for 4 different worthy causes: asylum seekers, birthing kits for women in developing countries, school building in Sierra Leone, and the family of a 5-year-old Melbourne boy with a terminal brain cancer tumor. She sent invites out to tons of people, but she made it clear that while she was soliciting donations to support people in need, not everyone was actually invited to the launch party. She said there wasn't space big enough for everyone, so instead she sold virtual tickets through Eventbrite, with the proceeds going to the 4 charities. People could purchase anything from a general admission ticket for $20 to a VIP reserved ticket for $100, or they could name their own price. This way, people could still be a part of the event, feel a part of her community, even if they couldn't come. Belle's app launch party was a who's who of Melbourne, especially the health and wellness type. Health gurus, entrepreneurs, other social media influencers. Belle connected with all the right people and in turn was embraced by the wellness community. They were all moved by this amazing young mother fighting to stay healthy with a terminal diagnosis. When Belle gave her speech that night, the guests cried, and everyone donated money into the glass bowl for the charities Belle was fundraising for. 2014 was an amazing year for Belle. With Apple's golden touch and the book on its way, Belle was raking it in, and she bought herself a brand new BMW, got her teeth cosmetically straightened, and upgraded her wardrobe. She moved into a $1 million beachside townhouse in one of the most affluent suburbs of Melbourne that ran her more than $1,000 a week and furnished it very stylishly. P.S. Rent is listed weekly in Australia, I've realized. Not monthly.
That's weird.
It's very strange. It's weird.
And when you said that at first, I was like, fuck, that's high. But then I thought, no, that's what I pay.
Well, yeah, but this was 10 years ago.
Yeah, $1,000 a week. So she's renting. Why did she buy? Belle, who's your financial advisor?
She shopped, ate out with friends at cafes and upscale restaurants, regularly got her nails done, and frequently visited a massage therapist. She supported the arts and would cross town to go to the Terra Madre organic shop and wellness clinic. She visited bookstores and markets and bought things like some fancy kombucha and $48 a box recycled toilet paper.
$48 a box? I'm sorry, what is recycled toilet?
I mean, it's just like paper. It's like made from recycled paper.
Okay, it's not like gently used toilet paper.
No. That would be reused, not recycled.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Her new car cost almost $1,200 a month, and she'd spend $350 at the hair salon. She took her book team to the foothills of the Great Dividing Range of outside Melbourne for a photo shoot for the book, and then to unwind, took herself on a cruise to the Pacific Islands. She was doing really well for herself. And everyone was singing her praises. Health food shops, fashion labels, skincare brands, houseware stores, chefs, bloggers, personal trainers, yoga instructors, and photographers all posted about the amazing, inspiring, authentic, healing Belle. In Style Australia promoted her Instagram page. Cold-pressed juice company The Seed Bali celebrated Belle on International Women's Day for the goodness she offered the world. Her fans compared her to Gandhi.
Stop it. Stop it. Gandhi. Okay.
Many commented they would be following Belle's footsteps to boost their own health and well-being. Cosmopolitan magazine awarded Belle its Fun Fearless Female Award in the social media category. Belle was now an in-demand keynote speaker. During this time, everyone that met Belle described her as pleasant, friendly, polite, and generous. Some people said that sometimes she seemed vague or a bit spacey, but they just chalked that up to her medical condition.
Sure.
Belle set her sights on more. She wanted to expand the whole pantry into the whole life. The new domain was registered, and Belle put an ad out for a digital designer. She wanted more apps, complementary apps, a standalone app for kids, and including apps outside their current category that supports the interest of their current users, focusing on community.
Right.
She also wanted to build out a space for entrepreneurs to meet, collaborate, and host events where all profits would be given away to those in need. The app sales would be donated to rotating charities and organizations that support the health and well-being of people globally, protecting and conserving the environment, and giving education to those who otherwise didn't have the opportunity. She hired an assistant and a consultant and signed a 3-year, $70,000 a year lease on a double-story office space with bay windows and marble fireplaces.
Ooh, okay.
She developed a furniture proposal that she had her volunteers pitch to high-end designers in an effort to fit out her new offices for free. She also put together a pitch for the Royal Children's Hospital to lease space in its new commercial space for the whole pantry, kitchen, and kiosk. The North Melbourne Hospital's $1 billion redevelopment included shops, restaurants, and a hotel for families of sick children. Belle also set her sights on the hotel, proposing the retail space could also do in-room dining for the family staying there.
Wow, this is getting massive. Massive.
Yes.
Okay.
In July of that same year, Ollie turned 4, and Belle threw him a birthday party. Ollie's dad was there, who Belle had split from when Ollie was still a baby. Her current partner, Clive, was, by all accounts, a very good step-parent to Ollie. Belle and Clive were not married at this time, but had been together for a few years. Also in attendance were about a dozen kids and some of Belle's closest friends and associates. One of the children at the party was Joshua Schwartz, the 5-year-old boy with brain cancer that was included in the launch party fundraising, who Belle had met through social media. Near the end of the party, around 3:15, as people were getting ready to leave, Belle fell to the floor and had a seizure. As her friends came to her aid, all of them understood that no ambulance would be called because Belle didn't do hospitals.
Right.
Belle came to and explained to her guests wearily that this happened all the time and they shouldn't worry.
They just need to get her a juice, a pressed.
I just watched that movie 2 days ago.
Here's the juice.
Here's the juice.
Oh my God.
And then it started again, and it went on like this for like 30 or 40 minutes. This left a lot of her friends rattled, seeing the reality of what Belle went through. A couple weeks later, Belle would post on Instagram her most viewed post of all time. The post was a picture of a bouquet of bright pink balloons in the shape of a heart. And the post caption read in part, because it was long, with frustration and ache in my heart, my beautiful game-changing community, it hurts me to find space tonight to let you all know with love and strength that I've been diagnosed with the third and fourth cancer. One is secondary and the other is primary. I have cancer in my blood, spleen, brain, uterus, and liver.
Shit.
Belle goes on to talk about the whole pantry team, the community, and how they will continue on, her gratitude for the holistic specialists and practitioners she works with, and her own strength the past 5 years. And directs her followers to turn to this Instagram account and the app for more about the whole life updates.
Okay.
In the midst of the flurry of activity brought about by her partnership with Apple, Belle was also working with a team at Penguin over the course of that year on her book. When it was published, it was beautiful. It was heavy and full of healthy, doable, and down-to-earth recipes. The photos of the recipes were stunning. There was also beauty advice, tips on detoxing, gut health, weight loss, and how to avoid chemicals. There were natural medicines and instructions on making your own cleaning products. The book encouraged ditching coffee for tea, meditating, drinking more water, exercising, getting enough sleep, and taking breaks from technology.
Nothing that we don't already all know.
Right.
Cool.
At the front of the book was Belle's story. 3,000 words titled The Story So Far, where Belle talked about life, pre-cancer, explaining why she decided to heal herself, how she managed the fear of living with a terminal illness, the impact the disease had on her life, and her hopes for the future. She also talked about her childhood, her family, growing up in a dysfunctional home in the suburbs of Brisbane with a single mom who had multiple sclerosis and an older brother who was autistic. She helped her mom a lot because of how ill her mother was, doing much of the shopping, cooking, and housework. She described herself as severely overweight as a child. She also said she left home at age 12.
I'm sorry. And went where?
It's really unclear.
12? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Published in Australia in late October 2014, the first print run was huge. 42,000 copies. It was priced at $35 and sold more than 16,000 copies by the end of the year. The plan to publish in the UK and the US was already in the works with a target of mid-2015. One of the things that people loved about Belle and her app and her book was how much of the proceeds went to charities. In her proposal to the hospital when pitching the whole pantry storefront, she claimed that all profits from the app sales go directly back to the community, donated to rotating charities supporting health, education, and environmental conservation.
Okay.
She said, quote, "We feel that everyone already part of the whole pantry community are in a privileged position to be able to access their whole life. We feel it's important that part of their spending goes to help those who aren't as privileged."
Okay.
In fact, in her book, she wrote, quote, "A large part of everything the company earns is now donated to charities and organizations which support global health and well-being, protect the environment, and provide education to those who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity." One write-up about Belle said she had given away at least $300,000 to various charitable causes around the world.
That's cool.
And then on the 8th of March, 2015, a little after 8 p.m. on a Sunday night, the first ever critical story published about Belle Gibson went live on the internet.
Ruh-roh.
A couple of journalists at The Age wrote a short article detailing how Belle had solicited donations for 5 charities that the journalists confirmed had no record of receiving any donation. 4 of them didn't even have knowledge that fundraising drives had taken place.
Oh, no.
Within minutes, a long and weak response to the article was posted on the Whole Pantry's Facebook page that basically said the reason the donations had yet to be sent to the charities Belle had fundraised for was because the company's books weren't up to date.
Okay. Checks in the mail.
Right. At first, her community basically unanimously defended her, calling the story sensationalist journalism, posting for clicks and views, haters gonna hate, that kind of thing. Many of Belle's followers accepted her explanation. But then the floodgates opened up and comments on her post on Facebook started to point out that she wrote a lot of words that didn't address the actual issue. She took money from people and didn't give it to the charities she said she was going to.
Right.
Belle was Johnny on the spot with these comments. This was like late on a Sunday night. replying to them and trying to smooth it all out. Until there were comments that were too direct and too confrontational, and she just started deleting them. Soon people started to notice she was deleting comments, and it did not go over well with her community. And that's when comments started to come in calling into question Belle's cancer diagnosis.
Shit.
10:30 a.m. the following day, The Age received an email from the whole pantry requesting a retraction to the article posted the night before. The 1,200-word email laid out the same arguments included in Belle's response to the journalist's questions that they sent to her prior to publication, as is standard in journalism, and repeated most of what had been posted on the Facebook page the night before. Their editor-in-chief replied back that the article is not erroneous and there was no need for a retraction.
Oh.
The journalists who wrote it had been digging into Belle for some time and had called up these charities and the family who were all supposed to be recipients of Belle and the whole pantry's fundraising efforts, namely the 4 causes Belle had raised funds for at her app launch party. One Girl, an organization in Sierra Leone building schools for girls there. Birthing Kits Foundation, giving women in developing communities a safe and sanitary space to birth. The Asylum Seeker Resource Center, restoring human rights to those forced to seek asylum. And the Schwartz family. 5-year-old Joshua had a terminal brain tumor that couldn't be operated on, and his family was trying to raise funds to take him to Mexico for a last resort treatment.
And that's the one that pisses me off the most, is that little boy.
That's the one that pisses everyone off the most.
Yeah.
Even, well, we'll get into it. There was also the Mother's Day fundraiser when Belle pledged to donate proceeds from the app sales to 2 charities working in Southeast Asia, the 2H Project and Bhumi Sehat Foundation, to prevent maternal and infant deaths. She boasted $5,000 raised that day. Out of these 6 causes, most of them had never even heard of Belle Gibson or the whole pantry. And if they had no knowledge of any fundraising on their behalf. None had any record of receiving funds from Belle or her company. By now, the story had been picked up by news agencies across Australia. The journalists at The Age were asked to file a follow-up story. They wrote about the comments casting doubt over Belle's story of cancer survival being deleted. That afternoon, another Facebook post from the whole pantry stated another Facebook post from the whole pantry was posted stating Belle made the difficult decision to step down as the manager of the company and was returning to conventional cancer treatment. That she was struggling with managing the loss of some people close to her, and she was forced to put her family and her health and well-being first.
Okay.
And then the next day, the newspaper The Australian published a remarkable front page article headline. Mega blogger Belle Gibson casts doubt on her own cancer claims. It included explosive comments from Belle herself in an interview with a journalist saying it was possible her cancers may have been based on a misdiagnosis by a magnetic therapy team from Germany.
Stop it. A magnetic therapy. What does that mean?
No one ever knows.
Okay, great. Misdiagnosed. This has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 2 journalists that broke the first story, the story that opened the first crack in Belle's narrative, had already been working on a story about her cancer diagnosis and the likelihood that it wasn't true. They had been approached by a friend of Belle's who told them she was having her own doubts about Belle's story, and she gave them what she could to start digging. But no one they spoke to who could add anything to the story was willing to be quoted on the record. These 2 journalists knew Belle was a liar, but the lawyers at the paper wouldn't let them run a story without named sources.
Okay.
At that point, it's just gossip and rumor. So that's why they went for the charitable donations piece, because those were tangible claims that could be verified independently with the charities themselves. Because they were like, we're pretty sure this girl doesn't have cancer.
Right.
And the lawyers were like, yeah, but nobody's willing to go on the record. You don't have proof. You can't run
Right.
that. And they were like, well, if she's lying about that, what else is she lying about?
Exactly.
So now they were given the green light to publish everything, though, because people were already publishing about it.
Yeah.
This article contained several unnamed sources close to Belle who had begun to question her diagnosis. The article also noted that multiple cancer specialists they had spoken with said off the record that Belle's story didn't add up. One of Australia's most prominent neurosurgeons did go on the record and said it was extremely unlikely for Belle's accounts of her brain cancer and the way it spread to be true.
See, this is the thing about when people lie about topics that they don't know anything about, and it's reaching millions, and chances are there will be several that know exactly whether or not that's feasible. Like what the arrogance in thinking that you can get away with that is astounding to me.
It's insane. Well, one of the things, and I didn't write it up here because I have so much here still, but one of the things that this book talked about is it went off into a couple different tangents. And one of the tangents it went down was cancer, generally speaking, and how over the decades, with all the research that's gone into cancer, there have been huge advancements in the treatments of most cancers,
Right.
except for brain cancer. It's like the one cancer that in like 40 years, they haven't been able to do anything better with it because of the nature of brain cancer.
Right.
It's just, they haven't gotten there. The death rate or the survival percent, those numbers haven't changed in 40 years.
Wow. That's too bad.
Right. But it's also like, if she was going to pick any cancer to claim to be,
That's not the one.
that's not the one.
Yeah.
So the media went on a blitz with the news and Belle went dark. She wiped thousands of posts and photos from the whole pantry social media accounts, clearly trying to erase history from the internet. She ignored her friends who tried to reach out. She blocked friends on social media. And in one of her final posts on her personal Facebook page under her longtime pseudonym, Harry Gibson, she took a shot at the friends who betrayed her and spoke to the press. Quote, "At the end of it, it says more about you and your priorities than me or the story you'll get paid to tell. With love, and before I get bullied to my death, enjoy your contribution to the world, for I know the work my company and its content did changed hundreds of thousands for the better." And then she purged the few friends she had left, blocking them one by one from her accounts. The Penguin team who worked on Belle's book were also having a bad week.
Yep.
It took them about that long, about 5 business days or less, to make the decision to pull the book. The upcoming launches planned in the UK and the US canceled. Victoria's consumer watchdog opened an Victoria is the state where Melbourne is.
Oh, okay.
Victoria's consumer watchdog opened an investigation into the whole pantry. Apple lagged behind everyone else, but about a week and a half after the first article was published, the whole pantry app was pulled from all Apple platforms. Its online promotions were wiped from the Apple website, and it disappeared from the App Store.
Shit.
Apple said nothing. Literally not a word ever again about Belle Gibson or the whole pantry.
Wow. I mean, that's one approach, I guess.
Full gray rock. Just...
It was never on here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. And all around the world, all who had befriended, worked with, or endorsed Belle Gibson were wiping their hands of her.
Shit.
3 months later, at the end of June, Belle Gibson sat down for an interview with Tara Brown for 60 Minutes. Did you see this?
I think so. Isn't this the one where she's trying to like, she can't even answer like what her age is?
Oh,
and
it's
she's
so,
like,
it-
well,
yeah,
I've been
it's-
told that I'm this. It's like, no, it's just,
Yeah,
how old are you?
We're going to
Okay.
get into it a little bit because this interview is like insane.
Okay.
So Tara started with the biggest lie right out the gate. She read straight from Belle's book. Quote, "I will never forget sitting alone in the doctor's office 3 weeks later waiting for my test results. He called me in and said, 'You have malignant brain cancer, Belle. You're dying. You have 6 weeks, 4 months tops.'" Belle was revising. Wait, what the fuck? I feel like I lost. Okay, so Belle was revising her story. She says in 2009, she met a man called Mark Johns who told her he was an immunologist and neurologist, though no record of this man exists.
Right.
She said he came to her home and they went through a series of tests, that he had a box, a machine with lights on the front, and that was apparently German technology. There's 2 metal pads that go below the chair and behind your back that measures frequencies. This was when she was told she had a stage 4 brain tumor and 4 months to live.
She is saying some neurologist came to her home with a magical box and diagnosed her with brain cancer.
Through frequencies.
Stop it.
So Tara pushes and pushes in this interview to get Belle to admit that she lied, and she just won't. It is insane. It is the hardest interview to watch. When Tara asks her why she said she got this information in her doctor's office, Belle says it's because she didn't think people would understand the way it happened and would be disappointed in her for not following the right way. But she's not saying that she lied.
Mm-hmm.
She believed it was real.
What? Why even agree to an interview?
Well, we'll get into that. Tara pushes her about the chemo and the radiation that she claimed to go through for 2 months. She straight asks, true or false? Belle is like, at the time, and Tara cuts her off. True or false?
Right.
And Belle says, true, because at the time, I believed I was having radiotherapy.
Stop it. This is not how it works.
She was shifty. She hesitated too long. Her voice quivered. Every time the question was a simple true or false or yes or no, she would evade it by launching into some long explanation or story. Mm-hmm. She wouldn't even concede that she lied about her age. She had been claiming to be 3 years older than she actually was since the start of her Instagram account. At the time of the interview, she was 23, not 26. She claimed to have 2 birth certificates and she'd had 4 name changes, and it's caused an identity crisis and just a load of nonsense about not really knowing her true age. But she finally does agree that she is 23.
So that means that
26.
when she started this madness, she was
17.
I mean, I weirdly feel like kudos to that for you to be able to, I don't know. That's pretty brilliant for a 17-year-old to be able to pull up.
Wait, so is that right? She was 19. Maybe she was 19.
Okay. I mean, not.
I'm trying to remember.
This is awful, but
she was not. She was barely 20.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Okay.
Tara's team had done their research. They found things Belle put on the internet that had not been scrubbed. They uncovered posts in online skateboarding forums during the time she was living in Perth in 2009, the same year she claimed she had a stroke and found out that she had a malignant tumor in her brain, where she claimed she had 3 heart operations, suffered 2 cardiac arrests, and died twice on the operating table. Confronted with these detailed lies, Belle would say that she had been through some things and she was being melodramatic. Tara
being melodramatic. You died twice. We're okay.
Tara just scoffs. She goes, melodramatic? They are straight out lies. You weren't in hospital and you were claiming you were. Claimed you died twice. You didn't. Claimed you had 2 cardiac arrests. You didn't. That's not melodramatic. That's straight out lying. Extraordinary lies. If you lie about that and you go to these extraordinary links to create the story around that lie, how can we believe anything you say now?
Yeah, exactly.
So Belle would go on to take a stance that she didn't know she didn't have cancer until very recently, that she was dealing with that truth. And had every intention of coming clean voluntarily 10 days after the news beat her to it.
Oh. They just beat her to it. She already had a plan.
Yes, she was going to come clean, but no one was buying it. Mm-hmm. There was nothing Belle could say that would convince anyone. She claimed to be there in that interview to be honest, that there was no reason for her to lie, but it didn't matter what she said anymore, whether Belle believed she had lied or not. The 60 Minutes interview was brutal, like watching the worst kind of train wreck. #Belle Gibson was trending on Twitter, and the verdict was unanimous. No one believed a single word she was saying. And this was international. She was tweeted about in English, Arabic, Italian, Spanish, French, Turkish, Japanese, Filipino. Her name was synonymous with fraud. One tweet criticizing Donald Trump called him the Belle Gibson of politics.
Stop it. I mean, that's true. Also, why not just, I mean, she could have started all of this and just said, like, I eat this way and I feel better. Like, why lie about why not just like, I don't understand.
You're never gonna.
Mm-mm.
There's no way to understand this.
Yeah.
That year, Belle Gibson was ranked in the Washington Post's top 10 internet villains of the year. News of her $75,000 for that 60 Minutes interview definitely didn't help.
She was paid $75,000 for that interview.
Yes.
Fuck. Wow. That's why she did it.
That interview was a get.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wanted to be Tara.
Yeah. Wow.
As the 1-year anniversary of the scandal loomed, articles about Belle were still pulling big numbers and still being widely reported on. On May 5th, 2016, Belle put up a rare post on her personal Facebook page. It was a link to Monica Lewinsky's TED Talk titled The Price of Shame and was about the impact of online harassment. Belle wrote, quote, "Leaving this here, have watched this a few times and still just so resounding. Tread kindly. People can and do hurt deeply, and that hurt can live within for a long, long time. Brave, Monica."
She is comparing herself to Monica, which is so fucked up. She is just making herself more and more fucked up.
It doesn't get better.
Oh my God.
The journalist who first broke the story went on to write the book that I read to do this story. Mm-hmm. It's titled The Woman Who Fooled the World. And one thing they talked about was how many of Belle's former friends and acquaintances were also entrepreneurs in the health and wellness industry, and how most of them refused to speak to the authors for the book. Most of them didn't want their names anywhere near Belle's. Mm-hmm. And it's no wonder, because in many ways, they were partially responsible for Belle's success. Mm-hmm. It was her associations with these already established people that gave her credibility. Right. The truth of Annabelle Natalie Gibson was that she grew up with her older brother Nick and her mother Natalie in a single level home in the suburbs of Brisbane, but her family says everything she'd ever said about them or her upbringing was a lie, including her claims of being overweight as a child and leaving at the age of 12. Mm-hmm. Belle's teachers described her as cooperative, friendly, and well-mannered, a pleasure to have in class. She was good in school and participatory and won awards. She belonged to a Seventh-day Adventist youth group, cooked and cleaned for elderly residents, was involved in fundraising activities for her school, and volunteered at the Breast Cancer Foundation. In high school, she transformed into an emo girl and started hanging out with the skaters. She studied hospitality and management and landed a part-time job in sales for a catering supply company. At one point, she moved in with a local man who also worked there and his 2 sons. Different accounts from people who knew her at the time placed the man's age between 40 and 60, but no one seems to know why she lived there.
That's odd.
It is odd. Mm-hmm. Belle was super into theater and enrolled in classes run by Mercury Youth Theater. One of her old drama teachers recalls that Belle was actually quite good.
I'm sure she is. She fooled the whole world.
Too. She even attended acting camps, but she was quickly earning herself a name for making shit up. Mm-hmm. Those that knew her described her as melodramatic, with a tendency to imitate others, and that she was prone to straight lying. God. She would say unbelievable things. Over the years, she told a number of people that she was in witness protection.
Okay.
She told someone once that she was a test tube baby. Some said she was pathological. Mm-hmm. This was also when she started making up medical dramas. One of her former friends during that time said, quote, "In our hometown, she was extremely well known for what basically amounts as compulsive lying. Mm-hmm. She was honestly a laughingstock half the time. People made fun of her." This friend remained Facebook friends with Belle until in 2014 when she wrote a public message accusing Belle of lying, and Belle blocked her. One of Belle's ex-boyfriends said she couldn't go 5 minutes without making up a story. Quote, she just opens her mouth and starts saying stories.
But do you think she has Munchausen's?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
This is also about the time that Belle started to find sympathy with online communities. In a chat room dedicated to the Flaming Lips, her stories of harrowing medical miracles were beginning to be believed. She got all kinds of sympathy and support there. This was really when she started to lie about having brain cancer, as early as 2005.
Fuck.
At age 16 in 2008, in her final year of high school, she dropped out and moved thousands of miles away to Perth. She got an office job with a health insurance company where she worked for 7 months until January of 2009. She was telling people she met in Perth that she had terminal brain cancer. By May 2009, Belle had dyed her hair black and was posting on skater chat forums with mostly boys and regularly talking about catastrophic medical problems she claimed to suffer from. She wasn't just being treated for cancer and undergoing major surgery, but also dying on the operating table and finding bruises on her chest from the paddles when they shocked her back to life.
Give me a break.
She needed a valve replaced in her heart, a surgery she couldn't afford. She also claimed in 2009 to have had a bad reaction to the Gardasil cervical cancer vaccine, which gave her headaches, blurred vision, slurred speech, and what she believed to be a stroke.
And she also has no visible signs of being sick. She's not losing her hair. She's not pale. She's not thin. She doesn't she just looks totally healthy. Right?
Totally healthy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Later, on a visit back home in Brisbane, she would tell friends that her brain cancer was caused by the Gardasil vaccine. She even had a little shave patch on the side of her head, but there was no scar.
She just shaved a patch. Okay. Oh my God.
Her next online community hustle was in early 2010 on a parenting forum on a website called What to Expect. This was mostly pregnancy-related chatting with other pregnant women. Belle was pregnant with Olivier, Ollie, whose father was a man named Nathan that Belle had met in Perth. Belle was living in Melbourne by this time. She wrote about having cancer, detoxing, and chiropractic treatment. She said that half a Panadol tablet affected her severely and that she wouldn't get into a warm bath after learning about the chemicals you absorbed from unfiltered water.
Okay. But her child is real, right? Does she have a child?
Yes.
Okay.
She does have a child. Remarkably, even though she has brain cancer, she had a baby. She wrote about her fear of miscarrying. She also posted about having no support and no one to throw her a baby shower. None of her friends and family were willing to travel to Melbourne to attend a shower. Ollie was born in July of 2010, and Nathan moved from Perth to Melbourne to live with Belle and the baby. But he struggled to find work, and when Ollie was about 1, he stayed home with Ollie while Belle went to work part-time at a baby store. The couple split in early 2012, but Belle continued to refer to Nathan as her best friend, and he did maintain an active role in Ollie's life.
Okay.
In October 2011, Belle had been referred by Dr. Mark O'Reilly for a neurological assessment at the Alfred Hospital. She'd reported problems with her eyesight, eye pain, slurred speech, breathlessness, and memory loss. She said she was experiencing episodes of not being able to follow conversations, sometimes forgetting her own name. She reported involuntary movements, spasms of her arms and legs, twitching of her upper lip and eye. She told the doctor her mother had MS, that her brother had Asperger's and epilepsy. There was a history of ischemic heart disease, diabetes, and stroke in her family. All of Belle's test results were that everything was fine. But since her mom had MS, they ordered a scan to be sure. Her images shown to her by the neurologist were perfectly normal.
Yeah.
The letter from the neurologist back to the GP says nothing about brain cancer, but he did write that some of the symptoms Belle described could be related to migraines and panic attacks. He thought Belle was struggling emotionally as well as physically from the demands of new motherhood, but she strongly rejected the suggestion that some of her symptoms might be from anxiety or depression.
She knows best.
She knows best. She knows her body.
That's right.
At this point, Belle had been telling people for over 2 years that she had a brain tumor.
God.
And just over a year after this visit is when she would spin up the Healing Belle account and continue to tell people this.
Yeah.
According to Belle, as she was trying to cover her ass and claim to not be lying, but to have... So according to Belle, as she was trying to cover her ass and claim to not be lying, but to have not known she didn't have cancer, she was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer in 2009 while living in Perth.
Mm-hmm.
After she met a man called Mark Johns, who we talked about,
Yes.
and joined his Facebook group. Okay. She believed him to be, this was she believed him to be an immunologist and a neurologist, and he came to her house, showed her some equipment, and encouraged her to join a study into the effects of the Gardasil vaccine. On June 25th, Mark diagnosed her with cancer using an at-home test involving his electronic diagnosis equipment. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, Mark showed her an x-ray proving that she had brain cancer. She then called a friend in Melbourne who offered her a spare room in his house so she could fly out there for treatment.
Okay.
Mark was supposed to treat her in Melbourne. She was expecting to meet him 3 times at the Peter MacCallum Cancer Center. The first meeting was canceled. He drove to her house instead to conduct some tests. The second meeting, which was in a park near a hospital, was where he told her she was unlikely to get pregnant. The third appointment she went, but he never showed up, so she left. Somewhere in all of this, he supposedly prescribed her Temodol chemo medication, which she took orally, and she continued to see him intermittently at home until 2011, and he was the one administering radiotherapy treatment.
I'm sorry, you don't get radiotherapy treatment at home.
No!
You don't have a doctor's appointment in a park.
And this guy does not exist. As far as anyone can tell, this man does not exist.
Is she thinking that the people this reporter that she's saying this to is just going to be like, okay, all right, so I can see where the mix up was. Like, none of this sounds believable at all.
No.
She is, oh my God, Delulu. Yeah.
Delulu.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the summary of the answers Belle has given to the authorities and the media when pressed about her diagnosis and treatment. If you put it all together, everything that she said, you piece it all together, that's her explanation. Okay. It does not coincide at all with the version in her book or other versions she's claimed along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Belle was seeking alternative treatments at the time that she claimed to be suffering from brain cancer. She tracked down this rumored healer named Phil Best. I actually saw her refer to him at one point somewhere as Dr. Phil.
Oh God. Mm-hmm.
He exists entirely by word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
She met him in 2014 and saw him a number of times at her home and at clinics where he would rent space when he was in town. Belle says that Phil is the one that diagnosed her with secondary cancers in her blood, spleen, uterus, and liver. He told her that he was a doctor and treated her with electronic equipment which fed data back to his computer. When asked about this later, Phil denies that he diagnosed her with anything or treated her at all, but he did recommend to Belle to try different cancer treatments and go for expensive testing overseas. He also prescribed her a medicine cabinet full of questionable products 4 days after Belle's Instagram announcement that her cancer had metastasized.
Okay, so Dr. Phil does exist.
He does exist.
And she did see him.
Yes, he invoiced her for close to $9,000 via a very confusing invoice that included something about a machine, capsules, and a travel blanket to stop the body's electronic emission and infrared radiation from dissipating outwards.
Oh, so he's just a quack.
Yes. Okay. Phil says the pills were enzymes and anti-inflammatory stuff. Mm-hmm. One of her friends at this time flew with her to Sydney for her visit to a clinic there, along with Phil, where Belle had testing done. Mm-hmm. One of them had her hands and feet connected to leads that passed a small, painless electrical current through her body. Blood was taken from her finger and examined under a microscope. These tests are used to build an overall picture of health and identify imbalances. They cannot diagnose medical conditions. They look at fat and muscle mass, hydration levels, and blood cell structure. Mm-hmm. The director at the clinic said, quote, "You cannot see cancers. We don't make recommendations, and we certainly don't make recommendations about cancer."
Yeah.
The friend that traveled with Belle said that not long after their trip was when Belle called her up and told her about Phil diagnosing the metastasizing of the cancer. Mm-hmm. And this friend knew that Phil was a quack from the moment that she laid eyes on him when they got to Sydney. And this is when she like stepped away from her friendship with Belle. She was like, oh,
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We would be here all day if I told you all the stories about her lies and grifts over the next 3 years. The work she got out of people for a fraction of what it should have cost her to build like her app and her brand through manipulative means, often leveraging sympathy for her brain cancer. Mm-hmm. The people along the way that actually saw through her and didn't work with her because their gut said not to trust her. Mm-hmm. The experts in health and nutrition who worked with her and later would talk about how she didn't actually fucking know anything. Her claims that her seizures had given her psychic abilities.
Stop it. Why? Why are we adding to the... Oh my God. Okay.
Okay. And in the months leading up to the release of the first official news story to ever criticize her, people were beginning to question her claims of the brain cancer diagnosis. Even her partner, Clive, wasn't really backing her up on any of that shit anymore. Clive, who is described as very smart and polite, quiet, a little awkward, never splashy or loud, is older than Belle, about 40-ish. She was already claiming cancer when they got together. But in mid-2014, Clive's dad was diagnosed with cancer and only had months to live. Clive split with Belle for a while and moved back to Adelaide to live with his parents, where he was really living with someone with cancer. Right. And this is when he started to become suspicious of Belle's story. Mm-hmm. Because she didn't look anything like his dad.
Yeah.
But no one wanted to be the asshole that was like, hey, that 25-year-old single mom with brain cancer might be lying.
No shit.
Right? God. It's like Tanya Head. Who's going to like question this lady's story about it's like surviving 9/11? You'd be an asshole,
Such
right?
An asshole. I know. Yes.
So a couple of friends had an intervention and confronted Belle and implored her to come clean, to show them her medical records, told her, if it wasn't true, that's okay. We'll figure it out together. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. And she would not come clean.
So she had ample opportunity before this thing
got
wild to...
Yes. And that's about the time that one of these friends went looking for a journalist that would hear her out and go digging for the truth. Mm-hmm. 3 days after the first article was published in March of 2015, Victoria's Consumer Affairs, that's the name of the watchdog group, Consumer Affairs sent a letter to Belle to let her know that they would be investigating the claims regarding the donations she had raised. Mm-hmm. It is illegal to solicit donations without being registered.
Okay.
Consumer Affairs filed in federal court to seek substantial penalties and in a press conference assured the public that Belle Gibson would not be getting away scot-free. She would be charged civilly, not criminally, because police had declined to press any criminal charges against her. They could have, but they decided not to. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission was also not pursuing her. Criminal charges could have been laid, but one of the reasons she would be pursued civilly instead is because that meant that they could also go after her publisher. And also, Consumer Affairs considered gaining industry impacting change to be a bigger win than making an example out of one person.
Right. Okay.
Holding her to account would be a warning shot to the absolve industry. You cannot absolve yourself of accountability if you publish bullshit. Mm-hmm. The potential penalties were not small, up to $1.1 million for companies and $220,000 for individuals. The whole pantry was in the red and had a tax bill to be settled, and Belle herself had no assets. This was like some blood from a stone shit, but they went after her anyway. Right. The trial went before the judge in June of 2016, so a little over a year later, and Belle declined to participate or even send representation.
Declined to participate. I'm out. I'm not doing this. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
The Consumer Affairs case, the Consumer Affairs lawyer or whatever told the judge that they were not accusing Belle of explicitly saying that following her advice would cure someone's cancer. They were asserting that her claims of overcoming a deadly diagnosis formed the backbone of her media business and the context in which her products were sold. The three core claims were: 1, that she was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer in 2009. 2, that she was given 4 months to live, and 3, that she had taken, then rejected, conventional medicine in favor of healing herself naturally. Mm-hmm. The case had two parts, one concerning her health claims, the other her charitable giving claims. Consumer Affairs believed both constituted the offense of misleading and deceptive conduct.
Yes.
Without Belle there to mount any defense, the hearing was short, with no more than a day of hearings. With all the evidence filed, it would be 9 months before the ruling was handed down. A few days before the case was due back in court, Belle popped up online again.
Oh, no.
It had been 2 years at that point since she had posted anything about nutrition or given health advice. Her app was gone, her website domain expired, and Healing Belle was closed down.
Mm-hmm.
But then, seemingly out of nowhere, using that fake name, Henry Gibson, she logged onto Facebook and went to the page of the Master Fast System, an obscure diet that touts New Age fasting and cleansing. It claims to be able to turn around any disease, no matter what they named it to be, through fasting techniques and special teas and herbs.
She's back at it? No.
Belle typed out a long, glowing review of this wacky New Age diet and posted it on Facebook.
Stop it, Belle. Stop. I wonder too if, like, similar to Kundalini Katie, if behind the scenes she's actually like Taco Bell in it, you know?
Well, it's hard to know, right? Because, yeah.
God.
She claimed that she'd been on it for just 10 days and that it had already changed her hair color. I'm sorry, her eye color.
Stop it.
It healed a cavity.
No, it did not.
And shrunk her tonsils.
She is doing it again in the middle of a lawsuit. She's doing it again.
Yes.
What an idiot.
She then went into great detail about her poop, writing that she expelled a parasite and passed a huge ropeworm, which she estimated was almost 2 feet long.
Okay. Okay. First of all, TMI, Belle. Also, that shouldn't be happening if you're eating in accordance to the whole pantry.
Right?
Why do you have a 2-foot long worm?
She wrote that this diet saved her life and showed her, quote, what happiness and health looks and feels like. I feel so blessed. Thank you.
I cannot believe she is doing it again.
The media caught wind of it and let everyone know about it.
And that company, well, even though it sounds like a quack too, is probably like, thanks a lot. Get off of here with your review. Fuck.
The post was promptly removed and Belle shut down her personal Facebook page.
Wow.
In March of 2017, the judge's ruling was issued. Belle Gibson, now 25 years old, was guilty of misleading and deceptive conduct. It was ruled that she had no reasonable basis to believe she had cancer when she was making public claims about it to sell her book and her apps. And after her general practitioner confirmed to her in November 2014 that she did not have cancer, she failed to inform Apple, Google, or Penguin. The judge ruled her continued claims after that time were obviously false and that her claims all along that she had tried and ditched conventional treatment, the very premise of her book, were also false. Mm-hmm. The judge also found that Belle deliberately played the public to solicit donations using groups likely to evoke sympathy because of their vulnerabilities. Young girls, asylum seekers, sick children. Ms. Gibson deliberately played on the genuine desire of members of the Australian community to help those less fortunate. And I didn't include it here, but the judge specifically called out little boy Joshua as like the most egregious thing that she did.
That shit pisses me off.
And there was this part in the book where one of her friends said that Belle had asked her to make a bunch of meals for Joshua's family so that Belle could take a bunch of meals over there to help the family out with like food. Mm-hmm. And she came to visit Belle like a few weeks later and she found all the meals that she had made in Belle's freezer.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with this person?
It would be another 5 months before the ruling on the financial penalties would be issued. Before that ruling, the judge issued a court order prohibiting Belle from making any more claims in connection with the sale or promotion of health and well-being advice about being diagnosed with brain cancer and about rejecting conventional medicine and embarking on a quest to heal herself naturally. Right. She was also ordered to pay $30,000 towards Consumer Affairs legal costs. The final judgment was $410,000.
Shit.
2 penalties of $90,000 for app sales and company donation claims, $50,000 for the app launch donation claims, $30,000 for claims about her Mother's Day fundraiser, and $150,000 for her claims of donating to the family of Joshua Schwartz. The judge said that claim was the most serious of her breaches, stating that Belle sought to use the family's tragedy for her own selfish
Yeah,
purposes.
that's gross.
Really gross.
Really fucking gross.
In her ruling, the judge said she could make no allowance for contrition, remorse, apology, or acceptance of responsibility because Belle displayed none of these by the sheer fact that she didn't show up.
No kidding.
She chose not to explain her conduct or apologize for anything. The judge said, quote, "Once again, it appears she has put her own interests before those of anyone else. If there is one pattern which emerges through her conduct, it is her relentless obsession with herself and what best serves her interests."
Yep.
Belle's editor at Penguin was warned about problems with her story at least 5 months before releasing her book, but no one confirmed or checked Belle's story. Mm-hmm. One of the senior editors sent Belle's editor an email with concerns that spanned Belle's personal story, her employment record, her medical history, but no one did anything and they published anyway.
This is the thing that blows my mind. She has partnered with Apple and Penguin. You don't have staff to vet any of this. Are you kidding me?
It's insane,
Yeah.
right? Ultimately, this would end up costing Penguin $30,000 in fines paid to Consumer Affairs for failing to validate that the book was actually true.
Mm-hmm.
In late 2023, more than 6 years after the fine was handed down, the entire amount of Belle's judgment was still outstanding and she had yet to pay for any of it. Mark Feldman, a clinical professor of psychiatry who coined the term Munchausen's by internet, described Belle's case as particularly predatory as well as deceit on a grand scale for personal profit.
Yep.
There's a whole section of the book where they interview the guy who basically dedicated his life to understanding Munchausen's, generally speaking, and all the variations thereof.
Right.
And it is speculated that that is what she has.
Okay.
And they also have a whole chapter dedicated to phone interviews with her mom and her stepdad, and they are wild.
They are?
They are wild.
Mm.
This book is worth the read,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
Her parents are crazy pants.
Mm-hmm.
They are characters. It sounds like her mom might have Munchausen's as well.
Okay.
In 2019, Consumer Affairs wanted to charge Belle with contempt of court. A new trial was set for May 14th, and Belle could serve 6 years in jail if she didn't attend. As of mid-September 2019, she still had not paid anything towards her fines, claiming to be broke, and Consumer Affairs were still seeking to enforce the penalty. On January 22nd, 2020, the Sheriff's Office of Victoria conducted a search warrant at Belle's home and seized items to recoup her unpaid fines, which, due to interest and costs, were now exceeding $500,000. Mm-hmm. And then on the next day, an October 2019 Shabo Media video surfaced. So this was like the day after they executed the search warrant. And this video showed Belle wearing a headscarf, speaking partially in the Oromo language, referring to herself as Sabantu, discussing the political situation in Ethiopia with an interviewer and referring to Ethiopia as back home.
No. Oh my God.
She claimed...
Oh my God.
She claimed to have been adopted by the Ethiopian community in Melbourne after volunteering for 4 years, calling the adoption a gift from Allah.
You have got to be kidding me.
I had to look this up. So the Oromo are like this super like hyper localized ethnic group in Ethiopia. This very small like ethnic minority in Ethiopia that clearly has some small community in Melbourne. So on the same day, the president of the Australian Oromo Community Association in Victoria stated that Belle was not a registered volunteer, is not a community member, and she's also not working with the community, and that he had seen her at events only 2 or 3 times. He said nobody seemed to know who she was, and he had only just learned of her backstory and wished her to stop saying she was part of their community.
Oh my God. She's got something. There's something very wrong in her brain.
Very wrong.
Yeah.
In February 2021, the federal court registrar marked her case as abandoned. Her home was subject to a second warrant in May 2021 to try to recoup unpaid fines.
Mm-hmm.
As of February 2025, none of her fines had yet to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
Belle was asked once in an interview to name her biggest influence on her health journey. And she said, Steve Jobs. It's bizarre, I know, but I really do admire his vision and how much he fought for what he believed in. And it really is bizarre. Steve Jobs died from pancreatic cancer in 2011 after delaying surgery for 9 months and opting instead to go down an alternative treatment route, using fruit juices, dietary supplements, and acupuncture to try to fight the disease. After his death, his biographer said Jobs regretted his decision not to use conventional medicine sooner and believed he had made it a mistake. He talked a lot about it, how he regretted it, and how he felt he should have been operated on sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the longest TLDR on the whole story of Belle Gibson.
Shit, sister. She is so unwell.
So unwell.
Wow.
The book was so good.
Really?
The book was so good. Yeah, it's a really good read.
Wow. I just...
You know, Netflix just did like a biopic. Not a biopic. They did like a fictionalized version. Mm-hmm. It's a mini series. It's called Apple Cider Vinegar or something like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But there's some artistic license in there, and the main character is kind of an amalgamation of like a couple of people, and there's other, do you know what I'm saying? So it's
for sure.
It doesn't get all of it exactly right because it's not a straight like biopic.
Right.
But that's why it was like fresh of mind because that came out like a few months ago.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah. Oh my God. She needs some mental health intervention. Really.
It's bad.
That's really bad for her to then
really
continue to try to do her weird shit even after. I mean,
even after all of that,
it's like, what are we doing?
She doesn't even know what she's doing.
Oh my God. She doesn't even know how old she is. I mean, wow, we've got a lot of work to do. Oh, wow, sister, that was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry you had to do that story again.
No, I didn't do that story. I did not. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, there it is.
There it is.
We did it.
Go to all the things.
You guys know what to do. Go write us a review. If you have an Apple product, go to the app, the podcast app, and write us a review. Join the Patreon. You can join for free and hang out with us over there because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't go behind the paywall. If you join the Chaos Kids Club, it's $5 a month. You get you get a bonus episode every month. You get new episodes a day early every week, and once in a while we have a virtual wine night. It's a good time.
That's right. It is. You can send us an email at crimewineandchaos@gmail.com.
Amber gets the love letters. I get the hate mail.
Correct.
But it all goes to the same account. It's cool.
It's fine. Fuck.
Sister, I love you so much. That was
so
chaotic.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Crime, Wine, and Chaos is produced by 8th Direction Records. Artwork by Joshua M. Davis. Music by Jeremy Williams. If you would like to support the show, you can visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/Crime, Wine, and Chaos. Cheers!